Hi, welcome to Grasp Automation. This is my second video on Excel automation using Power Automate Desktop. In my first video, I have covered few basic actions like launching an Excel, writing some data in Excel, saving that Excel, and then closing the Excel. So if you haven't watched that video, I'm going to provide the video link in the description. Please watch that video before coming to this video. Okay. So let me go to this video. In this video, I'm going to cover how to read some data and then writing into some other Excel file. Okay, so if you see here, I have a data. I have created some sample data with some name, city, and then company. Okay, so I wanted to read this data and then I wanted to write into some other Excel file. Let's see how we can do that in Power Automate Desktop. So let me delete all this. Okay. So I have created a new flow with the Excel demo 2. Okay, so we can do that from here. New flow, click on new flow and then give the name of your flow name. So and create it. So once you click on create, it will open a new window like this. Okay, so let's see how we can do that. Okay, let's launch the Excel. So I wanted to open a which is already existing Excel file. So I'm going to select open the following document because I know the which Excel to open. So which is this one. So I wanted to read this Excel, click on save. Okay, we just launched the Excel and I wanted to read from Excel file. We have a action called read from the Excel worksheet. So let me do one thing. Let me rename the Excel instance here. So let me make it employee data. Click on okay, so it won't support the spaces in between the variables. So that's how we have given our name for the Excel file. And then let me read some data from this Excel file. So if you see here, by default, we got the Excel data as an instance. I want to read from this Excel. And we have three options here. One is single cell. If I want to read a single cell, okay, so we can go with this value of single cell. And then if you know the range of cells, and then if you want to read entire data, we'll go with the values from a range of cells. And then values from the selection, we can select the particular range and then we can read that data particularly. So let me start with the single cell. Okay, so let me open the Excel. In this Excel file, I wanted to read the name called Naveen. Okay, so which is my first column, fourth row. Okay, my first column and then fourth row. That's it. And let me display the output. I'm giving my message box title as a name and I wanted to print the employee data. So this is my Excel. I wanted to print the Excel data here. So let me delete this employee data because it is an Excel instance. Okay. Let me close this Excel. Let's run this flow. Yep. So we got output as Naveen because we specified I wanted to read the cell which is in the first column and then fourth row. So that is Naveen. So that's how we can read a single cell by giving the start column and then start row. And let me see how we can read range of cells. So I wanted to read entire data from this Excel. I don't know how many rows and then how many columns are there in this Excel file. So to get the range of the Excel file, so we have to add one more action here. So that is get first free row and first free column from the Excel file, which means this action gets the first free column So which is my D, like 1, 2, 3, 4. My first free column is fourth one, and then my first free row is seventh one. Okay. If I get this first free column and then first free row, I can subtract with the one. Okay. So let's say I got my first free row as 7. Okay. First free row minus 1 is 6. So this is my last row, and my first free row, first free column is fourth one minus 1, so which is my 3. So I wanted to read from 3 to, I mean 3 to 1. So 3 is my last column which is having data, and then sixth row is my last row which is having data. So that's what I'm going to do with this action. Okay, so let's save this. Let's see what are all the values that we are going to get from this action. So my output will be, so let me give as first free row and column. My first free row is is and my first free column is first free column. That's it. Let's save this. Let me close this Excel, run this flow. It will launch the Excel now. And yep, as I told, my first free row is seventh one. My first free column is 4. So that's how we'll get the first free column and then row by using the get a first free column and row action. Okay, let's read some data by using this. Read from Excel worksheet, read from the range of cells. My first column is 1, first row is 1, and then end column, which is my first free column, minus 1. And my end row is first free row, minus 1. So that's it. So we have read the entire data with a range of values. So let me see how many rows that we are having in this Excel file. Number of rows is, so Excel data. So we have a method called rows.count. That's it. Save and run the flow. Yep, we have 6 rows in it. We have 6 rows in it, but my first row is a columns. Okay, so I want to specify. So my first columns is contains, my first rows contains columns. How can we see that? Excel here. So let's go to the advanced. If you see here, first line of range column contains column names. So enable this one and then save. So we are just specifying my first row is column names. We don't need to read from there. We wanted to read from the A2. So because A1 and then B1, C1 is my headers. Okay, close this Excel, run this flow. Yep, we got 5 rows because I have specified my first row is columns. That's it. So this is how we can read entire data. If we don't know the how much of data we have that in Excel file. Close this. Let me write this data into some other Excel file. So to write into some other Excel file, let me launch an Excel. Okay, so with a blank document and then save and drag drop the write to Excel worksheet action. So which Excel I wanted to write? I wanted to write in Excel instance. Okay, value to write. I want to write I wanted to write the Excel data table, which is Excel data, which is my data table, and where I wanted to write. I want to write an a specified cell if you know, like I wanted to write from the D1 or A1 or C1 or B1. So from there we can write. But I wanted to write from the A1 cell so that I can specify on current actively cell. Click on save. So we have launched Excel, we have written the data, and let me save and then close. To do these actions, we have two actions. Basically, we can use the save Excel worksheet, and then after that we can close the Excel file. There is one more option in close Excel. So I wanted to close Excel instance. Before closing this Excel, I want to save this document. So by default, and then where it has to save, I wanted to save in desktop in here. Let me give some name as test demo. Open and save. So we are just closing this Excel. We didn't close this Excel. So let me close that Excel as well. Close Excel. Employee data Excel. Do not save this. I don't want to save this document because that is my input file. So that's all. So what we have done, so we launched an Excel, so which is already having data, and then we got the first free row and then first column to read the entire data. So we have used this first free row and first free column by subtracting with the one, and then launching new Excel file, writing the data which we read from the test data, so which is my employee details. After writing data, so closing with saving into desktop as a test demo, and then closing the employee data as well. So let's run this flow. So that's it, guys. So if you see here, it just created a test demo here. Yep, we got the output what we want in a test demo output file. So that's it, guys. This is about how we can read a single cell or entire range. If you don't know the entire range from Excel, entire data, so that's how we can read the data from an Excel file. That's it about this video, guys. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to Grasp Automation for more videos on Power Automate Desktop. Thank you.